Hi everyone, how are you all doing? Let me just check whether you all are able to hear me clearly or not. Yeah, are you all able to hear me clearly? All good? Well, it's raining like crazy in Mumbai since today morning. I don't know when the rain is going to stop. But yes, really happy and excited to be here again with you. I am so glad that I'm able to do these live sessions back to back almost after every 2 weeks. So I'm glad and I'm really happy to be here today to talk about writing your statement of purpose. How many of you here are actually planning to apply for fall 2024 intake? Please tell me. How many here applying for fall 2024 intake? Because let me tell you, if you are, then this is the time when you have to start working on your statement of purpose. Okay? In fact, many different universities are asking for different types of statement of purposes nowadays. Some universities might ask you for like a normal statement of purpose that we know. Some universities might ask you for a personal statement. Some might ask for a scholarship essay, while some universities also might put up questions in the application form itself that you might have to answer. So, first, shortlisting the universities is very important. Understanding what are their requirements is very important. And then you should sit down to write your SOP. Now, I think the next question that you would ask is what's the word limit that we are looking at when we have to write an SOP? So, for normal SOPs, statement of purpose, also called as letter of motivation, generally the word limit is somewhere between 800 to 1000 words. So that's the kind of target you should go for. But if the university asks you to write like a personal statement, or if the university asks you to write a scholarship essay, then that is generally for 500 words. Okay. And some universities might also ask you to write an SOP, and on top of that, submit a scholarship essay or a personal statement. So please be mindful of that as well. Okay. So they might ask you for two documents. And in that case, your SOP needs to be different and your personal statement and scholarship essay needs to be different. Okay. Yes, absolutely, Abhishek. So Abhishek here is saying at NUS, instead of SOP, they asked a bunch of questions on the portal itself. Right. So that can happen. Okay. Next, how to go about writing your SOP. I think the first question that all of you would ask me is, ma'am, can I get my SOP written from an SOP expert? And secondly, what about all these AI tools and how much can I use these AI tools for writing my SOP? So, first, let's talk about getting your SOP written from an expert. So, since the past 2 years, I've actually been doing a lot of SOP reviews. And when I get SOPs which are written by these so called experts, immediately I'm able to find out whether the SOP is written by you as a student or it's been written by this so called expert. And why is that? The reason for that is that these SOPs, what these experts do is that they just take like one basic structure, they take some information from you, and then they feed all that information in those SOP sections. So there's no personal information, no feelings, no emotions attached to the SOP. So that's why now that I've become so used to reading SOPs, immediately when I see an SOP written from an expert, I'm able to find out. And I tell the student, listen, this SOP is not going to work. Please write the SOP on your own. And the reason being, imagine me, somebody like me who's been doing SOP reviews, I'm able to find out. Imagine the university's admission committee who's been reading SOPs year after year, and God knows how many SOPs they are reading in a year. So if you submit an SOP which is written by an expert, immediately they will find out that this is an SOP which has not been written by you, by somebody else. And that really reduces the credibility. Okay. Um, is plan of study and SOP are the same? To be very honest, I've never come across a university asking for plan of study. So if they say something like this, please check the instructions. What exactly do they want you to write in plan of study? What's the word limit that they are looking for? And then you write that information accordingly. Okay. Ma'am, how can we get examples of SOP for reference? So, Adi, I think it's Adi. So, Adi, what we do is we offer a course on studying abroad. Basically, it's an all in one course where I teach you how to write SOPs, LORs, personal statements, scholarship essays, and even emails to professors for those of you who are going for research positions. We also talk about undergrad SOPs, we also talk about MBA SOPs. And what I do is I share a lot of examples with you throughout the program. And these examples are not just like random examples taken off from the internet. No, these examples are SOPs which have been written by my own friends who've gotten into some of the top universities, and then of my students who actually took our help, got their SOPs written, and now they are also studying in some of the world's best universities. So these samples we share with you during the program. If you want to join our study abroad course, the live course is actually starting on 29th of July. Okay, so you can check out the link in description and then you can join the course. Okay. Don't worry, if it's Jan 2024 intake, then I think for you guys, the application might have already been over. So now what you need to do is just wait and see what the results are. Okay. Next. So I hope all of this information is very clear to you. So next, let's talk about how to write an SOP. Okay. So when it comes to an SOP or a statement of purpose, it has very fixed standard sections. If you're not sitting with a pen and paper, please bring a pen and paper and sit down with it because you wouldn't want to go through this entire video again. Okay. So how do you write an SOP? There, as I said, there are fixed sections. First paragraph is almost like a hook paragraph. What is a hook paragraph? Well, basically you write a story that hooks your audience. Okay. So generally people used to open their SOPs with, those cliched quotes. Guys, please don't do that. Nobody wants to see SOPs like that anymore. Instead, you should share your own personal story as why you're interested to pursue that program. What is your motivation to pursue that program? Okay. Then after that comes your academic background paragraph. And here in this paragraph, you need to talk about what have you done in your undergrad, or if you're going for PhD in your masters, some of the courses that you've taken up, some of the projects that you have done, basically everything that you've done in college. Academically, you should speak about that. So first started off with the hook, then coming to academic background, and then the next paragraph is about, say, your work experience or some other internships that you have done. So all in chronological order, you should write them down. First internships, then any formal work experience that you have. And when you write all this information, make sure you just not talk about your responsibilities and what you did in the program, in the internship or in the work experience, but also talk about some of the challenges that you faced, and then how did you overcome those challenges and what were your learnings from them. Okay. Then after that, you should talk about your motivation as to why do you want to pursue your master study or PhD study right now. Why not later? Why not before? Why right now? Then you should talk about your career goals. What do you want to do once you get this degree? So, what are your short term career goals? What are your long term career goals? Then, after that, you should talk about the university. Why are you so interested in studying in that university? Okay. And what are some of the highlights of that university which really make you interested to study there? And then finally, you should have a closing paragraph where you should reiterate your interest to pursue that program, why you're a good fit for that program, and why the university should give you admission. So, if you see, these are some of the clear sections that should go in your SOP. Again, just reminding you, giving you a recap, starting with the hook, then academic background, then your work experience, research, internships, etc. Then, after that, you will talk about your motivation to pursue that program again, then your career goals, then the university specific paragraph, and finally the closing paragraph. Understood? It's very simple, straightforward way. But of course, if you want to learn more in detail, then that is why we are doing a study abroad course. As I said, in the program, we cover all different types of essays, SOPs, LORs, scholarship essays, personal statements for engineering, PhD, masters, undergrad, MBA, all different types of programs. And I also share a lot of samples with you. Okay. So if you want to know when is the next study abroad program happening, then you can check out the link in description. We are having a live course starting from 29 July and we have a special promo running. So if you're able to register within that, then you'll get a very good discount. So you should register for that soon. Otherwise, if you're watching this video, say after the live course is over, then don't worry. We also have other programs scheduled, so you can still check the link in description. Okay. Is the SOP needs to be written in general audience perspective or expert audience perspective? So S. Bhattacharya, I think, is asking that question, and that's a fantastic question to ask. So generally, if you're going for master's or PhD application and you're talking about some of your research projects, work experiences, then you should not try to dumb down the information. And when I say dumb down the information, I mean do not oversimplify the information. Whatever technical information, technical details you have to share, please do so, because that shows that you have that technical knowledge. If you oversimplify it, it will give a feeling that you don't have that knowledge or that expertise to talk about these things. Okay. Ma'am, when will NUS start its application for 2024 August intake or masters? It will start in October. In fact, for most universities, for fall 2024 admission or August 2024 admissions, the applications will open in October. And for some universities, they close in December, some January, some February. So please keep a note of that. Okay. Now just want to have a quick check here. How many of you have already completed giving your GRE and your TOEFL exam? Or you still left to give your GRE and TOEFL exam? How many people here? GRE and TOEFL you finished or GRE and TOEFL left? What's the situation? IELTS completed, that's good. So guys, I don't know if you've found out, but both GRE and TOEFL, they have a new exam pattern where the duration of the entire test has been reduced, nearly cut down by half. So if you are still left to give your GRE and TOEFL exams, I would recommend that you please find out what this new pattern is, what's the new TOEFL pattern, what's the new GRE pattern. I've actually made videos on that separately, so you can also check that out later on. Okay. All right. So guys, any questions? Any questions related to SOP writing, related to studying abroad, LORs, etc.? Anything that you want to ask regarding essays? I think this is a good time to ask me these questions. Anything related to SOP writing, LORs, writing emails to professors? No? All right. Okay. So guys, in that case, okay. So guys, in that case, thank you so much for attending this live. I know it was a short and quick live, but if you have any further doubts, please put your comments in the comment section and I will answer them for you later on as well. And I look forward to seeing most of you in the study abroad course. Otherwise, if you've already written your SOPs and you want to get it reviewed from me, there's also an option for that. All these things, I'm going to put it in the description and in the pinned comment. Okay. Okay, so Shreya, I think, is asking an SOP question. So let me just quickly answer it for her. So Shreya is saying, should it contain only academic achievements or co-curricular as well? So Shreya, you can share both your academic, co-curricular as well as extracurricular achievements in your SOP. Okay. What to include and what to not include in a PhD SOP. So Sanisha. So Sanisha, a PhD SOP is very similar to that of a master's SOP only. The only difference here is that you're going to be sharing a lot more research related information when it comes to the past projects that you've completed, when it comes to what are your research interests, when it comes to which professors you would like to work under, why are you so interested in working under them. So all these things you need to share in more detail as compared to a master's SOP. And when you're writing a PhD SOP, make sure that the language that you use is of very high quality. Okay. And secondly, don't try to write a very short SOP. PhD SOPs, we generally expect somewhere between 900 to 1100 words. So please remember that. What to write in scholarship essay. So mainly in a scholarship essay, sometimes what happens is that the universities will give you some essay prompts as to what are you supposed to write in the essay. Okay. But in case the university does not give you that, mostly you need to talk about your academic and professional background, and then also share your financial background and why getting a scholarship is very important for you. So this is the main thing that goes in a scholarship essay, which makes it different from that of a normal SOP. Okay. Right. So, Sanisha, uh, first thing is that always remember that an SOP is not a rehash of your resume. Just because you've written 100 things in your resume, that doesn't mean 100 things also need to go in your SOP. Okay. So, an SOP is not a rehash of your resume. SOP is a story which talks about your motivation and your background and why you're so qualified to pursue that program. So, if there's certain work experiences, certain information that you feel does not fit in that story, feel free to leave it out. You don't have to insert that just for the sake of, inserting it. People want to know whether you have a gap year or not. They can always look at your resume, they can always look at your CV. For that, your SOP need not come share that story. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. All right. Aisha is asking, hi ma'am, can we get research publication course in mid-August by your team? So Aisha, we just wrapped up our research publication course. I don't think we're going to do a live course until October. But if you still want to attend the course, then in that case, you can go for our on-demand course, basically the recorded sessions. Okay. All right, everyone. It was nice talking to all of you and hope to stay in touch and hope to meet all of you again through another live. Okay. So thank you so much. Bye and take care.